Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Headlines you can't get through your day without. On Power 101.7.
All right, 6:33. Well, the U.S. on Monday reached a milestone of 150 million Americans being fully vaccinated against COVID-19.
Okay.
Yes, that translates to 45% of the U.S. population, while over 53% have received at least one dose of the vaccine. However, the rate of people getting vaccinated has slowed significantly in recent weeks. Meanwhile, deaths from COVID have fallen below 300 a day for the first time since March of 2020. In the early days of the pandemic, average daily deaths are at 293, down from a high of over 3,400. Wow.
Yep.
That's just unbelievable to think about.
Amazing. I know.
And that was in mid-January. So get out there, get vaccinated. But you know what I have noticed?
What?
Is that some of the spots where you go to get vaccinated, you can't go there no more.
What do you mean? You can't go there
Like they're
anymore?
starting to close like the mass vax spots.
Oh, okay. I know a lot of pharmacies are doing it now, so maybe that's why.
Yeah, like with the pharmacies, the doctors, like different spots that they announce. But like yesterday I went to Walmart and I didn't see. Like they had it set up there before. I don't think you can go there anymore. I don't know if you can go to the convention center anymore. So they're starting to shut down some of those spots.
Right.
But, you can go to all your CVS, Walgreens, Rite Aid, your local doctor, etc. So, but yes, 150 million Americans fully vaccinated. Numbers keep dropping, so.
I know they were hoping for 70% by July 4th.
Yeah, that's
Not sure if
probably
they're
going to be a
that
tough
goal, but we're on the right path.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. A federal judge yesterday dismissed most claims that were brought by Black Lives Matter activists and civil liberties groups who accused the Trump administration of having violated the civil rights of protesters when they were forcefully removed by police from the Lafayette Square Park near the White House in June of 2020, before then President Donald Trump walked to a nearby church to take a photo with a Bible.
Oh,
yes, they are still talking about this incident.
I remember that.
Yes, they had the press conference.
Right.
And then they left the press conference and walked to the church right around the corner. And then later you saw, a picture of the president holding the Bible.
Holding the Bible, right.
Well, apparently there was this whole big discrepancy because they say that there was, protesters outside and that
like the security and
like Trump's team went out there and just tear gassed everybody to move and didn't even ask them, just know. But then there was a back and forth because then Attorney General Bill Barr said, no, we tried to get them to move because we were coming through that area. They wouldn't, and it turned into an altercation. But then the activist said, no, they didn't ask us to move. They just came out and just tear gassed. Well, it turned into a thing.
Oh, gosh.
And it's been an ongoing thing since all this happened back in June of 2020. U.S. District Judge Dabney Frederick said the suit's claims that Trump and then Attorney General William Barr had conspired to violate the protesters' rights were speculative, and that it was premature for the court to conclude whether the actions of the law enforcement were justified. Frederick dismissed the claims against Trump, Barr, and other federal officials, including the acting U.S. Park Police Chief, saying the addition that the law gives them immunity in civil suits. He did, however, allow the claims against the Metropolitan Police Department and Arlington Police Department to proceed. So we still don't know what the outcome against the Metropolitan PD and the Arlington PD is going to be, but basically William Barr, Donald Trump, White House officials, the administration, they say that they're not at fault.
I had no idea that was still going on.
So,
all right.
Yeah, it just keeps popping up.
Wow.
So there you go. Some good news. I like this news anyway. A new study is good news for people who can't get through the day without their coffee. Finding that drinking up to 3 or 4 cups a day reduces the risk of developing and dying from chronic liver cancer.
Goodness.
Okay. So I like that. Study out yesterday in the journal BMC Public Health found that the effect was seen in drinkers of both caffeinated and decaf.
Okay.
In a study that followed nearly 500,000 participants for close to 12 years, coffee drinkers were found to be 21% less likely to develop chronic liver disease, 49% less likely to die from chronic liver disease than those who don't drink coffee.
Jeez, they've been on that study for over 12 years.
Yeah. Isn't that something? This story, some local stories. This story broke on Eastern Shore Undercover yesterday. And when it did break, at first it was talking about the Royal Farms in Berlin. And then it changed to the 7-Eleven in Berlin. There was some misinformation out there. Not Eastern Shore Undercover's fault. It was what was being reported. Okay, so this was at 2:55 p.m. Child abduction, check on the welfare, and then there was a cancel lookout. A cashier at 7-Eleven witnessed a man basically forcefully pulling a young female into his vehicle by her arm. The suspect was a white male, victim white female, approximately 12 to 13 years old. The vehicle was a silver two-door vehicle and may have had a temp tag on it. Maryland State Police were in the area, and they were searching for the vehicle and the child. Now, then there was an update. Maryland State Police now reviewing film, and it said that it was a four-door car. The video shows it is a two-door car, so it was a little misinformation there, whether it was a two-door or a four-door. Then there was an update. MSP looking for a white male wearing a pair of blue jean shorts, blue tank top, and white colored hat. Video leads him to believe it was a silver Honda, possibly an Accord. The vehicle has a sunroof and is an older model, at least 15 years old. Then there was an update. People were sharing the story like crazy. Then there was an update. Maryland State Police met with the subject of the silver Honda. They found the car, and it was not any sort of abduction. Eastern Shore Undercover did not have any detailed info. However, Maryland State Police safely cleared the call, and all units are now back in service.
Oh, wow.
So
That is scary when you're...
someone at the 7-Eleven saw someone pulling the girl into the car, thought it was an abduction, called the police. Everyone went crazy. And then they called it off after they talked to the... Now, that leads, the question, should the person have called the police if it was a parent? I mean, we don't know if it was a parent. We don't know if it was a family member.
Yeah, we have no idea. I mean, I guess...
But let's just say it was...
suspicious enough for them.
But should the person, or is this just another Karen trying to get somebody in trouble?
Is it one of those situations, though, like, better be safe than sorry?
Easier for the person who's not the parent to say.
No, I know. When it's a child, though, how do you know?
I mean, but if you were the parent, how would you feel if somebody called the cops on you for...
Oh, they have. Oh, been there, done that. Oh, they have. Been there, done that.
Yeah.
The one side says if you see something, say something.
Right,
but you
right,
just
right,
never
right.
know. The other side is like, mind your business.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
I get it. I know. But the clerk saw something that, upset them enough that they thought something's going on. I don't know what it is, but something's going on. I'm going to be safe.
Okay.
So I don't...
No, I agree. You're right.
Especially when it's a kid, you just never know.
See, I'm one of those parents that when we're out, and my wife is the same way. Like, when we're out in public and our kids,
anytime I've ever seen something like that, what you kind of described,
yeah,
you kind of know. Your gut instinct, you see it. You know it's a parent and a child.
Right.
Or, that they know each other.
Well, this might have happened so fast.
Right.
Or they
if
only
they're
saw, part of
or
it.
Or they're looking out in the lot and you see somebody, you can't even give a proper description of the car. You just know something's going on out in the parking lot.
Yeah.
And, they just didn't know. They didn't know.
Well, my wife and I are, first off, our
But
kids...
I've been to the grocery store.
Our kids know how to act, but...
Or other stores where I see things going down with the parents. I'm not going to call the police.
Well,
on
that's
that,
what I'm saying.
They're going through something.
Well, our kids, I would like to say, know how to act sometimes. But, no, I mean, to where it wouldn't escalate that bad.
Right.
But if it was getting to a point where, they weren't listening or something like that, which has happened when they were young, especially when they were younger, we know how to, kind of play it off or, get over here,
Yeah.
So
Don't start it.
Yeah, like it hasn't been.
And that look.
Yeah.
No, I know.
Like it's not, but there are some parents that we know that just don't care. I mean, they will slap the ish out of their kid. They will yank the kid, embarrass the kid in front of everybody, and it's like, and go the extra and don't care.
Who's there,
stuff that you would normally do at home,
right, or in private. I get it. I know,
but that's just not us. So I don't know.
Now, I've never been put in a situation where I thought a child was being abducted.
Right.
But I think my natural instinct would be to go help them, see what's going on. Like, wait, what?
Instead of calling.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I was inside a store and it looks like they're scuffling out there and a child's about to be abducted or something, I don't know. I think that might be a situation where I'm a little nosy with it. I'm going outside.
Now, what does Mike the Situation say? Now, that's a situation.
I'm tackling somebody.
Sometime between last night and Sunday and Monday, a gentleman's truck was broken into at Camden Ave in Salisbury. Now, during the incident, he lost around $5,000 worth of tools.
Oh, that's terrible.
It was a pretty devastating loss to this man because him and his girlfriend are both only around 25 years old, and they just moved out of their parents' house in April into a new apartment. The man's a mechanic at Hertrick Cadillac. He uses all his tools each and every day to service people's vehicles throughout Salisbury. The theft occurred between the hours of 10 p.m. on Sunday and 7:30 a.m. on Monday. And Eastern Shore Undercover had it up. If you know anybody who has any tips or whatever, be extremely helpful.
I know if someone's selling tools.
Yeah, if you find somebody selling tools out of their trunk.
Keep your eyes,
Now, they did file a police report.
Be on alert for this.
Yeah.
That's a shame.
So
that is a shame.
That was a big story. Also, 2:25 p.m. yesterday, juvenile problem. Elderly grandma contacted 911 in reference to her 2 juvenile grandsons and 4 of their friends destroying her home.
Yeah, acting up.
She has since kicked them out, but believes 2 grandsons were still outside, and she'd like assistance with the matter. Someone I commented said the parents should be embarrassed. So, crazy. Also, 4:40 p.m. yesterday, threats and harassment, center at Salisbury. A lady is at the security desk at the center at Salisbury for a man that's been following her and harassing her for several months. The suspect is described as a black male in a white T-shirt and book bag. The lady said he may have a weapon in the book bag. However, she did not see it. And then there was an update. Salisbury Police Department found the subject, and he was banned from the mall.
Jeez.
So there you go. And we talked about this earlier at approximately 1:53 a.m. this morning. Ocean City 911 Center alerted the Ocean City Fire Department for a reported building fire at the 12,000 block of South Harbor Road in West Ocean City. Deputy Fire Chief Mo Cropper arrived on the scene to find a single-story house with a large attached garage and the fire showing multiple exposures. Firefighters worked to extinguish the fire and protect additional structures. 2 firefighters were injured during the fire, one with a shoulder injury transported to AGH. The second firefighter transported by Maryland State Police Aviation Command, Trooper 4, to local shock trauma with burns and smoke inhalation. All injuries are non-life-threatening. The cause of the fire is under investigation by the Worcester County Fire Marshal's Office. And at 4:33 a.m., fire units were still on the scene this morning. So
that's a shame.
Prayers going out to everyone involved. It is the Bill and Jessica show. We got some sports up next. Here's Mass Wolf. Good morning.